to I Am a Bit of an Expert, a Peppa Pig podcast. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and with me, as always, is our other host, Matt Frost. Hey, Matt.
Good evening, Josh. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Coming down from the highs of the Lunar New Year. I know I did think about after we did it that we did keep saying Chinese New Year. I know it's not exclusive to China, but we did go off the episode title.
Yeah, I think I mentioned the Lunar New Year a couple of times,
so we weren't excluding anybody else who is not in China who was celebrating. That was just we were just following what the official Pepper lines are. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
We don't want to upset anybody. And like you said, after they invested all those billions of dollars getting back in favor in China as well, so we want to make sure everybody's happy.
We do. Brand ambassadors that we are.
That's right. We are, maybe not in an official capacity, but it's not a role we take lightly.
Yet.
That's right. Yes. Now, we're back with another good episode because this is the School Fete. So as soon as you hear School Fete, you think, ooh, more characters.
Oh, absolutely. And the possibility of a couple of very much favourite characters.
Yeah, that's right. So, what basically goes down in School Fete, Matt?
Well, the kids go to a school fete. I mean, the synopsis isn't long, but there's a lot going on.
Not to mention that it's on top of a hill.
Yeah, well, that's a very dominating geographic feature of their town, is a lot of hills. So.
Yeah, I don't know why Mr. Potato's obsessed with everybody exercising and eating vegetables, because they must have absolutely amazing quads, because everyone's just walking up hills all the time. I mean, everybody's a vegetarian. They all walk up hills all the time. I don't think there's any sort of obesity crisis going on in the Pepperverse.
And yet, Daddy Pig's silhouette.
Yeah, well, you can't argue with the visuals, can you? Really?
No. So this is a pretty standard school fete. You would have been to a couple of these, I would imagine, or not?
I've been to a couple. Well, because my kids are a bit too little. Obviously, they're not in school yet. But I do remember school fetes from when I was at school. And that was always good. Always liked a good school fete. And we've been to a few. When we were living in Richmond in Melbourne, we lived opposite a school across the park. So we went to the school fete a couple of times. And that was like the proper Richmond. Richmond's a very inner city suburb, lots of cool parents. So they would have the dad band playing, and they were sponsored by the local brewery. So they had beers and oysters you could get, and it was all quite fancy. But you could still get, they still had the cake stall. You could still get some fairy floss, and I think they had some jumpy castles and things. And then my friends' kids go to a school up the road, and we've attended their fete a couple of times as well too, which is. And they do it. A lot of fetes only in Australia anyway. A lot of them do it every second year now, not every year.
Oh, really?
I think parents get burnt out on fete.
Fete fatigue.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna try to get people to commit and do the time, you give them a year off.
Yeah,
fete. It's kind of when Glastonbury takes a year off. Let the site recover.
So would that be fatigue? I guess it would be. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I fondly remember school fetes from when I was at school. Like Sarai's only just started school too, so she's just started year one. But yeah, I remember the lucky dips. And did you have them?
Oh yeah, we had the lucky dips. Yep, the white elephant stand.
Yep.
And the cake, the cake stand, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good times.
Yeah, it was. Now the school fete here, because a sort of recurring joke in later Pepper episodes, I know we're jumping ahead in time, is that basically they always sort of throw fetes and events and things to fix the roof of the playgroup. The roof of the playgroup centre basically keeps breaking down or leaking, or somebody falls through it, or so any time that there's an event on, it's always to raise money for the roof of the playgroup centre. This one doesn't seem to be any ulterior motive for why they're having the fete. They're just having it. But actually, what was quite interesting is that at the very start, all the Pepper and her friends turn up. So you've got Susie Sheep, Candy Cat, Pedro Pony, Rebecca Rabbit, Danny Dog, and they've because the show's so new, they're all you notice they're all doing their little animal sounds before they talk?
Yeah, I did notice that, and I was sort of paying attention to which ones sort of do it. Some do it to start before they talk, and then some do it at the end. And yeah, I was trying to decode what that all meant, but I come up with nothing as usual.
Well, it's very, very noticeable in this episode. And there's a lot of animal noises in general in this episode.
Yeah,
but so I don't know whether that was a part of it or not, or maybe they're just sort of going, oh, we're still kind of finding our feet here. We've got all these characters in here. This is the most we've had outside of a play group. So I thought that was quite noticeable. But so basically, the kids get to the fete. They all say, someone wants to go to the balloons, someone wants to do the bouncy castle, somebody wants to do the face painting, all the good stuff. And all George wants is a balloon.
Yeah, well, he wants.
Daddy Pig makes the classic daddy mistake.
Oh, yeah, it's a rookie daddy error, really.
We've all been guilty of it.
Oh, absolutely. I probably am guilty this week of it.
Was essentially is saying that promising that you can get something without actually knowing whether it's available.
Yeah, it's usually I'll promise I can fix something, and some special thing will be fixed, and I'll get down there and find that no adhesive known to man will stick two things together and come back empty-handed.
Something's just been destroyed beyond repair.
Yeah. But the kids, what do they go off to do? They do their face painting first, don't they? And who do we find there?
Well, it is the one and only Miss Rabbit. So we touched on last week, I think it was, or the week before, that we saw Miss Rabbit in her first job. Now this is probably a fudge, because she's doing it for the love of the game. But she could be a professional face painter. She could be a carny in her spare time.
Just judging by her efforts, I don't think she's a pro. She's got
a very misleading banner.
Yeah, she does. And you would have taken Olive, not obviously Sloane's probably not had a lot of face painting done just yet, but
no.
Face painters can vary greatly in their both their skill level and their speed level. Yeah, so
there's always a queue at the face painters.
Yeah. And some of those queues can be quite excruciating.
Certainly the last fete that we went to, Olive did get her face painted. It was but she got like a sort of a butterfly on the cheek side of the face thing. It wasn't a whole face tiger affair. I seem to remember them being reasonably efficient, but I do remember them being sort of like there was three ladies. I think there was 3 ladies, or maybe 2 ladies and a gentleman. All having going through this sort of line of kids. They had 3 people going at once, and they still couldn't quite keep ahead of the game.
Basically, a sweatshop of face painters.
Yeah, that's right. They were just churning them out. So Miss Rabbit can basically only do one thing, which is a tiger.
Yeah, which is probably the first that I can think of. Just one of those real jokes that's aimed squarely at adults. Like the kids watching aren't going to appreciate how funny it is that Miss Rabbit can literally only do one thing.
Yes. Which is probably the most difficult to do out of all of them.
Yeah, well, it's... Well, I don't know. She does make it look pretty easy. She does.
Yeah. But, I mean, it can't be like doing a cat. I mean, her banner, she's got an elephant, it looks like a bear, a cat, and a lion. The tiger looks like it's the most complicated one of the design of the lot. But anyway, that's what she likes. That's how she does it. So, Pepper gets the face paint. George gets the face paint. Then they start sort of talking about noises that tigers make. And this is Candy Cat's time to shine. This is definitely the most we've seen of Candy Cat.
Oh, definitely. She being a distant relative to the tiger, schools everyone on the how to become a proper tiger. It's quite cute, actually.
I'm not even sure if she's been in playgroup episodes before. I don't even know if she's really spoken in other episodes or not. But she seems quite happy to be the center of attention and show off some of her skills and her licking skills and all those sort of things.
Bit of purring.
And and the kids seem pretty impressed with that. They get to do some tiger moves, which is cool. But then we basically get to the dramatic part of the episode where they go for the balloons.
Yeah, that's right. And this sort of piqued my interest a little bit. Like the balloons, like some are quite ordinary animals. Like they're animals that we will see, featured. Like, can I have an elephant balloon? And then some are your more exotic animals. So it's hard to get it's like me saying, oh, I want a Josh balloon. It's I'm not.
Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of it. Does this mean anything?
I'm not too sure, but there's a parrot balloon.
That's right.
So they've actually got one of their own character. Look, I mean, it looks. I'd have to go back and double check that it actually is Polly Parrot, but it certainly looks like Polly Parrot. It's the same elephant and bear that were in the line, I think, which were on the face painting thing. So maybe they, they bought some kind of party pack thing. It comes with a face painting banner and a bunch of balloons. It's all branded, and it's all got the same stuff on it. So George wants a dinosaur balloon. There is no dinosaur balloon, but in true Daddy Pig fashion, he pulls success out of the fires of failure.
In quite a spectacular fashion. So he ties a very convincing, despite what some of the other children may say, dinosaur balloon.
Yeah, playing with fire, like trying to twist balloons around. Like Oliver's on a real balloon weird obsession. It was my father's birthday last weekend, and we were all down there and they had a party and there were balloons, and she was just obsessed with having a balloon, but then obsessed with it popping, like wanting to be there when it popped, but not wanting to be there when it popped, and she couldn't handle the tension, and it really kind of just, she got really worked up about having to be around this balloon, knowing it was going to pop, wanting to be away from it, but not being able to keep away from the balloon. So, the fact that Daddy Pig can grab a couple of these balloons and twist them into all these shapes, and one didn't just blow up in George's face, causing some sort of crying tantrum.
Were they
not too shabby?
Were they helium balloons that Olive was playing with, or?
No, they were just because I had to blow a couple of them up.
Right. So they were just full of Josh's hot air.
Yeah, that's right. You can get it in a bunch of places, not just this podcast.
Soraya, my she's 6 now, just turned 6. We went to the Karina's local football side that she supports. They'd won the premiership, and we went to their celebration day where they sell a heap of merchandise, and they had a balloon there, a blue balloon, inside their club rooms, which was easily over 1 metre in diameter. It was enormous.
Oh, wow.
And it was a helium balloon. And Sarai was just sitting there staring at it. One of the club people came over and said, "Would you like it?" And she said, "Oh, yes, please." And they've unhooked it from its thing and gave it to her. And I started saying,
how'd you get it?
You need to tie it onto your wrist or whatever. And we went outside, and she had that balloon for literally 10 seconds. And then it was...
But you went, well...
Then it was up and away into the sky. Probably would have appeared on the airport's radar. It was that large. It was...
Well, at least you're going, well, I don't have to worry about figuring out how I'm going to fit it in the car.
I can't believe it. It was...
it's always going to happen.
Yeah.
Kids and balloons. You're playing a dangerous game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of short-term gain with a lot of long-term pain when it comes to balloons.
Yeah.
So, Daddy Pig pulls it out. He pulls success out. He gets the dinosaur balloon, and then the kids get over to the bouncy castle, which looks like is it Danny Dog's dad who's running it, as far as I can tell. And yeah, they all get on the old bouncy castle, and that's how they finish.
Yeah,
up.
I'm not sure who it was, like, because there's Granddad Dog, obviously, and sometimes, it's not Mr. Bull. And sometimes I have them, find them hard to tell apart. But I don't think they've really settled into everybody's storylines just yet, because as we know, Danny Dog's father is married to the sea.
Yes.
And
he looks like he's wearing a trucker cap at the moment.
Yeah.
It is Danny Dog's dad.
Well, Granddad Dog does run the service station, so it might be Danny's.
Could be him.
Grandfather. But we see a really good glimpse of what Miss Rabbit will become
Yeah, they've already started going, let's just start popping Miss Rabbit in places when we need a few extra characters here. And they've got we sort of had a little bit of social media stuff about the woman who plays Miss Rabbit. I can't remember her name now, but I think it's a case of, hey, look, you've got this really good actress with this very distinct voice. You can't just have her turning up every 10th episode. You've got to find a way to get her in more because, she brings the gold.
Well, she's a very good writer. She wrote for EastEnders.
Did she write dun, 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 dun? Did she write that bit? No?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You haven't heard the theme song? People who watch EastEnders will get that anyway.
I think she wrote like scripts. So.
Okay. Okay. So a good little episode here. A lot of not a stack going on, but enough and with lots of good characters. So we always love when there's lots of characters. We've touched on that. Any closing thoughts on this one, Matt, before we send it off?
Not really. This is a good one, and as I said, it's a Miss Rabbit starting to come into her own. So watch that space.
The more the better.
Yeah.
The more the better. All right. Well, you can catch us at Peppa Pig Pod on the socials. You can leave us a review on iTunes. You can tell your friends. You can. I was going to say buy our merch. We don't have any merch, but one day maybe. We don't have any merch. If you would like merch, if anybody would actually buy a merch, whether it would be a T-shirt or we will come. If we, it's something we could definitely look into. I am actually a designer by trade. I can probably, knock together some interesting stuff. If that would be something that people would be interested in, a couple of people have mentioned they might like something like that. It's actually not as tricky to do as you.
Yeah, well, that was our mum, so Josh. That was our mum, so.
Yeah, that was right. Well, they'll count. They pay. It doesn't matter. Hosting costs money. So thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week with Mummy Pig's birthday.
Oh, very exciting.
So thanks again, mate.
Thank you, Josh, and good night, my little piggies.
Yeah, we're playing a tune and we're singing a song with a bang and a bong and a bang. Bong, bang, boo, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, bangly, bongly, boo. Bong, bing, boo, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, bangly, bongly, boo.